Good afternoon, all of you. I, Ravi Kumar Paliwal, Assistant Professor, Electrical Engineering Department, Parul Institute of Technology, Parul University, welcome you all for this webinar on Introduction to Electric Vehicle and Batteries. Now, I would like to introduce our expert, Mr. Ritul Shah. He is the founder of at Spark Innovations, Vadodara. They manufacturing battery management system, motor controllers and chargers for electric vehicles. Ritul Shah sir has more than 7 years experience in electric vehicles component development. Sir has worked in MNC and startups across various fields in electric vehicles. Sir has core expertise in battery management developments. Sir has extensively worked in power electronics and developed in electric vehicle charger, DC to DC converter, and BLDC motor drives. So now I would like to welcome you, sir, for this webinar, and I hand over to you. Ritul, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction and thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak with the students of Parul University. I will just do one thing. I will share my screen and then we'll start with the session. I hope my voice is clearly audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely right.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay, friends, welcome to this session on introduction to electric vehicle and batteries, right? So, see, like why this term or why this session has more importance now rather than like 2 years back, because now the electric vehicles are on the mainstream. If you read newspapers daily, every day there is some or the other news in the field of electric vehicles, right? So as you are the students currently, probably in first year, second year, third year, or final year, I'm not aware, but probably in next 1 year or in next 2 to 3 years, you will be coming out of your colleges, right? And at that time, electric vehicles would be at its peak, probably, right? So that is why there is a need to understand about the electric vehicles and what are the main important things inside an electric vehicles, right? So here I will be covering some parts of the components of the electric vehicles, and I will be even showing you what all things we do at Spark Innovations, right? So let's start with our session. So sir has given my introduction, my profile, right? So I will do, I'm not taking this thing into much detail. We'll just move ahead. Just a second. Yes. So now let's check about like what are the components when I say it's an electric vehicle, right? So vehicle, basically it's a vehicle. It will be having, say, if it's a car, it will be having its four wheels. Then there would be one steering, right? And there would be the chassis of the vehicle, the glasses, the headlights, tail lights, brakes. Everything will be there in a normal vehicle. But how it differs from a normal petrol or a diesel vehicle from the electric vehicle. So what things change, that we are going to check it over here, right? So the energy storage inside the normal gasoline vehicle is the petrol or the diesel, while in case of electric vehicle, it is the battery packs, or it is the battery where the energy is typically stored, right? So when it comes the battery, typically we use the lithium ion batteries in the electric vehicles, and now in the lithium ion batteries there is a requirement of its protection, the long life of the batteries, and even we need to know that how many kilometers we can run with the amount of charge which is left inside the battery. So that we call as the state of charge of the batteries. So for that, there is an electronic system needs to be placed with the battery, which we call it as the battery management system. So basically, this BMS, it protects the battery, it increases the life of the battery, it protects against the over voltage, under voltage, over current, short circuit, over temperature, all the things like which will help the battery life to increase. That all functionalities will be typically done by a typical battery management system, right? Then comes the second thing, that is the motor. Now, see, in the battery, basically the electrical energy is stored, but we know that basically we want to rotate our wheels. So when we want to rotate our wheels, what we need to do? We need to convert that electrical energy into a rotational energy, right? Or a mechanical energy. So for that, basically we use a motor, electric motor. Typically in electric vehicles, three types of motors are used: the BLDC motor or the brushless DC motors, the induction motors, and the switch reluctance motors. If I say in terms of percentage, 95% of vehicles which are there on the earth, electric vehicles, currently they use BLDC motor, while 2-3% of the vehicles they use induction motor, while 2% is being used by the switch reluctance motors. Any of the application you take, electric two-wheeler, electric rickshaw, electric car, everywhere there is the brushless DC motor, while in case of the high power applications like electric car, trucks or electric buses, there typically induction motors are used. Now, here we have motor. So again, for motor, we need to control that motor. What we need to control? We need to control its speed. We need to control the torque of the motor, the temperature of the motor, right? So all that stuff is typically done with the help of a electronic circuit that we call it as a motor control. So motor controller is one of the major electronic part inside the electric vehicle, which is used to operate and control the motors which we are using for our application. Right now, we have the battery packs. Right, so once you travel some kilometers, your charge inside your battery will be reduced. Right, so basically we know that in our mobile we have a battery, right? In mobile also we have a lithium ion batteries, right? So when that battery gets discharged, we need a charger to charge the battery to again fully charge that battery. So for electric vehicles also similarly there are chargers, but for different battery packs, different applications, the charger also varies. It is not similar to a laptop charger or a mobile charger. The chargers of the vehicles, electric vehicles, they are of a higher rating, higher power, higher voltages. Voltages are typically dependent on the battery voltage which we are going to use inside our vehicle. Right? So currently the charging infrastructure is typically one of the major scope or major work which is being going on in India currently in terms of charging infrastructures, right? And many big companies are coming up with their charging infrastructure, their chargers, their charging poles, right? And they are placing it either on the highways or in the cities, in the malls, in the hospitals, everywhere they are placing these chargers. Then comes the vehicle control unit. Basically, you might be knowing that there is a ECU, engine control unit, in a gasoline vehicle. Similarly, there is a vehicle control unit in a electric vehicle. Basically, the functionality of this VCU is to get or basically get information from all the parts of the vehicle, right, and make sure it manages all the uh, parts inside the vehicle very much properly. So that is basically the functionality of a vehicle control unit. So typically this VCU is communicating with the battery management system, the motor controllers, the chargers, and the infotainment system, and all the other peripherals which are there inside a vehicle. And typically they all communicate with the help of communication protocol, which we call it as the control area network or the CAN protocol. Okay. So this way, basically this vehicle control units typically they get they are basically communicate and try to manage all the parts inside the electric vehicle. Then comes the DC to DC converter. Typically, these DC-DC converters are used to power up the small applications like powering up a microcontroller or a headlight of the vehicle or a tail light of a vehicle or some horn inside the vehicle or infotainment system inside the vehicle. So to power up all these peripherals, these DC to DC converters are typically used, right? And the most important thing nowadays is the IoT and the artificial intelligence. Nowadays, you may check out some of the vehicles from MG Motors or the Kia Motors. They come up with a very high-end IoT functionalities, IoT features, and AI features that are available. So now, or probably 2 years down the line, there would be a huge implementation of this Internet of Things and artificial intelligence in the electric vehicle. Right now, let's check out like which all companies are typically working in this field of electric vehicle. So there are so many companies. These are just few of the companies which I got it, right, and I have just taken it and copy pasted this image. So if you check each and every company, right, if you check each and every company, all these companies are working in the field of electric vehicle. The Lohia motors or the Trojan batteries, Okaya batteries, then the green fuels, the lithium-ion, right? There is currently the Ola Electric, Ather Energy, right? Ather Energy is based out in Bangalore. Ola Electric is based out in Bangalore, right? There is a Torque motorcycle. It's one of the company very near to your campus is Joy Electric, right? Joy bikes, right? They are also probably based out in Waghodia area, right? So there are so many this type of small companies who are working in the field of electric vehicles, right? So if you are planning your career, planning your future in the field of electric vehicles, then I think this is the right moment, right time to get it into it. So basically, immediately you won't be able to grab it into an electric vehicle, but slowly and gradually you learn the skills, you learn some of the important stuff that is required in the electric vehicles, and definitely by the time you pass out from your college, you are eligible for a very good job in the field of electric vehicles. So few of the companies in Gujarat are Ward Wizard, that is the Joy e-bike, Atul Auto, the normal rickshaws what you see on the road, right? typically they are from Atul Auto, they are from Rajkot. Now they are even developing the electric vehicles or the electric e-rickshaws for the Atul Auto. Then there is a company named Matter Motor Works from the Arvind Group. One Next Charge, that is the Exide battery subsidiary for the lithium-ion batteries. Then our company Spark Innovations, we are working a lot on the battery management system, the motor controllers, and the chargers. Then there is Napino Auto Parts, Denso Suzuki, and MG Motors, which is located in Hardware. So there are even more companies situated in Gujarat, but these are few of the companies which I thought that I could share with you, and you can just check out their websites, and probably you can check out their products. What do they all make up? Now, what skills are required to go in the field of electric vehicles? So typically, I would probably divide into two skills. One is the hardware skill, another one is the software skill, or the soft skills, basically, which type of tools you are knowing, or which type of like softwares, analytical softwares, or which type of softwares you are typically knowing, which are used in the field of electric vehicles. So if we check out in the hardware skills, then power electronics, then the circuit design, analog or digital circuit design, then the motor designing is one of the skill required currently. Magnetics design means the transformer design or the inductor design, right, which are used in the chargers or the DC-DC converters, right? In all power electronic circuit, there is a usage of three important things. One is the MOSFET or the IGBT switch. Another thing is the capacitor, or third thing is the magnetics, that is the transformer or the inductors. And along with that, the diodes are typically used. So if you are able to know how to use these 3 to 4 things, transformers, switches, MOSFETs or the IGBTs, the diodes and the capacitors, you can rule the power electronics for you, right? Then comes the PCB designing. Now you might be knowing that your each and every each and every device what you use day in and day out, maybe your mobile or your laptop or your camera or your shaving trimmer, right, or some vehicles, whatever vehicle you may be riding, right? Even in your home you might be having some TV, and along with that some set-top box, and all of them are basically electronic devices. So when it's an electronic device, there is a need for its PCB design, right? So if you are interested in developing the PCBs or the printed circuit boards, then you can easily learn this type of softwares which are available, right? You can easily learn this type of softwares. Then comes the thermal design and the structural design, right? So this thermal design is typically related with the motor control design, the charger design, and the BMS design, because whatever circuits you make, it should be cool circuits. It shouldn't get heated up by just using it for some half an hour or 1 hour. It should remain cool in all the weather conditions, because you are knowing that in our country, the lowest temperature goes around 0 degrees and the highest temperature goes around 50 degrees, right? In summer, and in winter we go even 0 degrees or even negative degrees in Jammu and Kashmir, right? So we have to develop our products in such a way that it's thermally stable. And the structural design is more related with the motor design or the chassis design of the vehicle which are going to be used, right? So these all skills are required currently in the industry in terms of hardware skills. Now, if we go in terms of the software tools, what tools are required to learn? One of the most important tool for model-based programming and simulations is the MATLAB. For CAD designing, maybe a 2D design or a 3D design, you can learn AutoCAD, Creo, or SolidWorks. Analytical softwares, maybe thermal analysis, structural analysis, electromagnetic analysis. For that, you can learn ANSYS, Altair, or COMSOL software. For motor designs, you can learn SolidWorks or Emitor. For PCB designing, the free version of software is the KiCad. If you can crack the software, you can use the Altium and the Eagle software also, right? Then embedded programming. See, each and every electronics comes with a microcontroller. And when it comes with a microcontroller, you need to make sure that you have to put some code inside that microcontroller. So when we place code inside a microcontroller, we need to program that controller, and that we call it as the embedded program. Majorly 90% of the embedded systems or the products, they use C language, right? C language they use for embedded coding, but somewhere they even go for C++ language. So if you are interested, go and learn C language for specific microcontrollers. For 8-bit controllers, 32-bit controllers, for different manufacturers, there are different softwares. IDE we call, right? But anyone you expertise, you will be able to learn the other softwares very much easily, right? And the last one is the 3D printing softwares. Nowadays, this 3D printing is very much in use to make sure that our products are prototyped very much faster and we can go to the market faster. So these are the important software tools which are currently very much used inside the industries, right? Because typically I work with many of the companies as on the consultancy basis, and even few of the products we provide to those companies, right? So while having a long conversations and continuous conversations with them, we get to know that what type of tools, what type of skills is currently required in the industry, right? So if you are interested, you can start learning this tool, any of the tool you can start learning, expertise in that, and definitely you will be having a very bright future. So this typical, these are the products which we have developed at Spark Innovations, right? So the first, on the left hand side, you can see this PCB circuit. This is typically used, this is basically a battery management system, right? This battery management system is used for a 24-volt electric scooter batteries, right? And few of the features of this product are, it has over voltage protection, under voltage protection, short circuit protection, over current protection, then temperature protection, over temperature protection, under temperature protection, then even the cell balancing is there inside this battery management system. The second one is for a 12-volt system, and the third one is the motor controller for a brushless DC motor. So this motor controller is typically used in the electric cycles for a 36-volt system, right? So any electric cycles, you can use this motor controller, right? This we have developed it for the brushless DC motors, typically used in the electric cycles. We have even few of the videos I would like to show where some of the dummy motors we have tested, and we are using the best algorithms for this development of the motor controllers. And all this we are doing at Spark Innovations in-house. So from scratch, we are developing all the products. Right? So this is one of the small video I would just like to show it to you, which we have developed So this coding we have done on one of the controllers, 32-bit controller, and this dummy motor which was there. So uh, we are running this dummy motor currently at 15,000 RPM. We are running this motor. So we can control it using our laptops only, right? Starting, stopping, we can do it as it was for testing purpose. But once like we have tested this product and currently it's in running, right? So the throttle which is there in the vehicle, that is used to increase the speed and decrease the speed of the vehicle, right? So this is a typical brushless DC motor control. So the rating of it is a 350 watt, 36 volt control. And even there is a GUI for this speed management, and if we want to check out how much voltage power is being consumed by our controller, that we have checked it out. So currently we are testing it at 1500 RPM. So this one is one of the bigger motor. This is another industrial motor, what we have used it. So this is basically the best part of this motor controlling is that with just one hardware motor controller, you can control different types of motors. You can control an industrial motor or electric vehicle motor, or even the drone motors we are currently testing with the same hardware. Just the algorithms and the softwares inside the controller will change. Otherwise, all the other hardware, 95% remains the same. So these few of the works we have done at Spark Innovation. There are a lot of products we have at Spark Innovations. So if you get time, if you want, you can even visit to our company by taking prior, uh, by having a appointment. You can definitely come and visit our company. Perfectly fine. So now, if you are looking, if you are in the last half an hour, if you have basically got some interest in the field of electric vehicles, right? I will let you know what all things you should do to make your path closer and closer to the electric vehicle sector. Try to read a lot of books on electric vehicles. There are a lot of magazines available, then blogs are there on the Google or on the internet. A lot of books, lot of blogs, lot of articles, magazines are available on the internet. You can start reading, start learning it, because from there you will be getting the latest updates in the field of electric vehicles. Then even there are few of the online courses available which give you a very deep knowledge in the field of specific components, whether it's a battery or a introduction to electric vehicle or the battery management system. You can check out those online courses, right? The third thing is you can even do some hands-on learning. You may take some internships in these electric vehicle companies, right? You can go, you can make your hands dirty, learn, then only when you make some mistakes, you break something, then only you will learn something, right? So try to break something, try to make your own small projects, right? Try to make your hands dirty by doing something, then it will be very much helpful to learn this electric vehicles. Make some projects in your curriculum. There might be some basically projects which you can do it at your end, right? By maybe in your some of the semesters for some part you can make some projects, mini projects, major projects in the field of electric vehicles. You can go for some internships in the small startups, small companies where actual work is being going on, definitely. And the last thing what you can go for by the end of your college is go for entrepreneurship, right? So if all the above things are clear with you, then the last point is a very good start point for you. Maybe not immediate, maybe you may take some experience, 2 years, 3 years, but later on make sure you have a target for going for the entrepreneurship, right? So these small things, if you start today, basically you will be in a position probably where you will be able to reach it someday, right? So typically the electric vehicle batteries, if I say, right? So normally there are two types of batteries used: the lithium ion NMC battery or lithium ion LFP battery, where LFP stands for lithium ferrous phosphate, while the NMC stands for nickel manganese cobalt. So basically, we call it in terms of the technical terms, we call the chemistries of the lithium ion batteries. Chemistry by chemistry, because different chemicals are used to manufacture those batteries. And they have different electrical properties, different thermal properties, and different life properties. Right? So, like even we do some of the courses, right? Even we organize few of, because see, though I am the founder of Spark Innovation, along with developing the products, even I enjoy giving trainings, giving internships to the students, the upcoming generation which are going to step in to the electric vehicle. So we even give small courses, small internships, right, at our company, where we uh, like give the learnings on the electric vehicle component operations, how each and every product works, maybe a battery, maybe a motor, maybe a charger, right? So how they work, how a battery management system works, what are the features in a battery management system, the charger. We open up the charger and we look each and every modules which are there inside the typical chargers or the BMS or the motor controllers, right? Because we are basically the electronic engineers. Though I have done electrical engineer, but over the path of working, probably after 7 to 8 years, I have become a very good electronics engineer, right? So even you may be in some of the branch, not necessary that after 5 years or after even 3 years you will be working in the same domain. Some of them may be doing some MBA, some may have changed their path, some may have done something else. So wherever the path takes you, keep on learning, but have one goal. Otherwise, you will be just wavering in your goals, right? So try to uh, take up small courses. We even give the case study for the complete open source battery management system. We even teach you how to develop your own battery management system designed from scratch, the hardware design, the software design, everything. And few of the softwares we try to make you learn is the KiCad or the LTM PCB designing, and some softwares related with the motor controllers and the chargers, because some simulation softwares which we checked out before, right, over here, So here basically we use MATLAB, then the Altium Designer, KiCad Design, C language we use, uh, SolidWorks and Creo. Some part we use in our mechanical designs, right? That we go for. So these are all the SMD components or the surface mount components which are being placed on this board, on the printed circuit board. Right? And probably if you are in a final year, we even help you in developing your resume specifically for the electric vehicle companies, and we help you in crack the interviews. But all these things are apart from our main business, which is in the field of the development and manufacturing of the battery management system, the motor controllers, and the chargers. So I have even developed two of the courses in the field of electric vehicle. The below one is the basic course, which gives you complete introduction to the electric vehicles, the components which are used in the electric vehicle, and the battery management system basics, right? And the another one, other course I have developed and put it on Udemy platform is the advanced course on the electric vehicle battery management system. Basically, my expertise is in the field of battery management system and the motor controller design. So if you wish, you can even surf and you can go through this Udemy courses, right? So for today, especially for today, as I was going to interacting with you, if you are interested in taking up these courses, then I have a special discount only for today. That is, any course among the between the two you take, you get it for 99 rupees. And the steps for enrollment, you can just read it. Basically, you can make the UPI payment on the number given. Once you make the UPI payment, you can share the screenshot of the payment, and our team will be providing you the link for the courses, and you can start learning, right? So if you are interested, if you want to go and learn this batteries and battery management system in depth up to the level of developing your own battery management system, then definitely you can go for it. Because normally these courses are priced at around 1200 rupees or some 500 rupees when some of the discounts they go on in the Udemy. But just for today, if you want to do, you can do the payments, you can share the screenshots, and basically you can start learning the course, right? So, and even you can connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you have any doubts, any queries, if you want to, if you are thinking for developing some of the projects in the field of electric vehicles, then you can even reach out to us on this email ID or on the LinkedIn. Both on both of them, I will be directly replying it to you, right? So feel free to contact me. Feel free to connect with me. That's it. Like if you have any doubts, any questions regarding anything regarding to the electric vehicles, one by one you can start asking the questions. I will be glad to discuss and impart my knowledge which I have with you all. So any questions you have, you can uh,
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your knowledge. And I hope all the participants will get the knowledge about the electric vehicle, basic idea about the electric vehicle, because nowadays everybody are thinking about the electric vehicle. Okay, so this session definitely will help to get the knowledge about the electric vehicle, and they will definitely go for that. Okay, sir, I have one query.
yes.
Uh, Every company are working on the time management system. Okay,
Yes.
means if you are charging a battery, the kilometers running kilometers will be should be high. Okay, efficiency. I'm just talking about the efficiency of the battery.
Okay.
So how many difficulty we are facing to get the required efficiency?
So is it the question related to the efficiencies of the battery you are
Yes, yes,
talking?
yes, absolutely.
Okay, great, great. So see, basically, how the efficiency of the battery we typically calculate or we typically predict is based on, is our battery pack fully utilized or not, right? Say for example, my battery pack is for 100 ampere hours, right? 100 ah is the capacity of my battery, and the voltage is say 48 volts, and I'm using a lithium ion batteries,
Right.
right? So if my all the batteries are charging fully at 100%, and all the batteries are able to discharge up to its minimum level. Normally we don't go till 0%, but typically we go up to 15% or 20%, right? If all my cells inside the battery pack are in equilibrium, then I will be able to use almost 85% of my battery charge, say from 15% to 100%,
Hmm.
right? I will not be able to discharge my battery fully up to 0% because there are few of the drawbacks, few of the problems related with the batteries, with the life of the batteries. So that is why we don't charge the battery completely and we don't discharge the battery completely. We work in the mid range from 10% to 95% normally, and we leave top 5% and the bottom 10%. So at first, this 15% are lost, right? So that 15% we lose to increase the overall life of the battery. Now, second thing, if my cells are not in equilibrium, so what will happen? Say my one cell is, say, 100% charged and another cell is say 80% charged. So what will my charger do? As soon as it sees that one of the cell has reached 100%, it will cut off the charge. So what will happen? My another cell, which is at 80%, will remain uncharged. So there this 20% will remain uncharged, right? So I will not be able to utilize the complete battery pack capacity. So there we require this battery management system to make sure all my cells are always in equilibrium and in balanced condition. So if my all the cells are balanced, then they will equally get charged and equally get discharged, making sure I get the maximum charge I can take out from the batteries. So by this way, basically we determine the efficiency of the battery. 15 to 20% are lost by default, but above that, we have to make sure that we are not losing those charge. Because if we are losing above that also, then overall battery pack size will increase, right? And we will not get the major, or we will not get optimum energy from that battery. So that are few of the points which we need to keep in mind while we talk about the efficiency of the lithium ion batteries. Okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right, sir. Okay, thank you again, sir, for this webinar and sharing your knowledge and time. And I hope all the guys, all this participant got the best knowledge about this talk. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.